On this morning, it begins with mushrooms, one of the few things we don't grow ourselves that were on sale, and I saute them in olive oil in a cast iron pan. And then I move on to leftovers. What do we have in the fridge? Some potatoes that were fried up with paprika, some cilantro and mint that one of the kids used for a meal they were working on, leftover dairy-free chive cream cheese that we had with bagels and lox. And then I look at the pantry. What's in there? We've got tomato chutney and eggs, lots of eggs, finally. As the mushrooms brown, I'm adding some tomato chutney. This is just a jar that I've had preserved. I have a lot of tomato chutney, which is why I'm choosing it for this recipe. You could use just a regular tomato product, like tomatoes in a can. I'm adding the cream cheese, I'm adding the potatoes, I'm adding the herbs. I'm just getting everything in there. All of this other stuff, is just ready to go. The mushrooms were the only thing that really needed to be sauteed up. And then I'm going to mix everything together. Just take my time, let the heat kind of move through each of the ingredients. And then I end up with something that looks a bit like a stroganoff here, and it's really, really beautiful, and the smell is incredible. I'm going to attempt to crack an egg with one hand for the camera, and as you will see, it breaks. So I kind of smush that one in, and then I do these off camera. I'll pop this into the oven. You can see I've only used one pan, just one cast iron for this. 350 degrees. I'm going to check it after 10 minutes. I think it was in for 15. I wanted the whites to cook, but I like the egg yolk to be just a little bit soft. So this is really kind of a personal preference here. You can certainly leave it in longer or for less time. And then I'm just going to sprinkle some more of these fresh herbs on top. It's kind of a treat to have these that we bought for one of the kids. All right, so scooping out a portion. I think there were 4 of us that were eating this meal, about 2 eggs a person, and then I had some leftovers another day. It is so creamy, that tomato chutney with the cream cheese mixed together, and you could use, anything you have here. This was just, how can I get things out of the fridge and make a beautiful brunch? The egg yolk was perfect, just a little bit soft. So that's meal number 1. The next day, I decided to do oatmeal. Our weather is going to begin to warm up, but we are still having hard freezes at night. So some oatmeal with some hard-boiled eggs I thought would hit the spot. I do about 2 cups of water to each cup of oatmeal, but really what I'm looking for is for the oats to be submerged in the water, just covered in the water. And then I go ahead and just bring the oats to a simmer, and they cook very quickly. I pull out all the things from the fridge that I want to work through. We've got peaches, maple applesauce, both preserved 2 years ago, and maple syrup, maple sugar, whatever I can find. I like to use some dairy-free yogurt, but I don't have any this time. So I'm going to be using the Chobani oat milk instead. When the eggs come to a boil, I turn them off, I put the lid on, and I just let them sit. I do about 4 to 6 minutes, depending on how I want the yolk to be inside. Then to the oatmeal, I always use some fat, coconut oil or butter. This was some dairy-free butter. And then everyone can just create their own beautiful little bowl of oatmeal, and you can customize this. I like, as I said, the yogurt. Normally I'd put yogurt on first and then maple syrup. But here we have maple syrup, that beautiful applesauce, these peaches that I have been very stingy with that I'm finally going to work through because I will be canning more peaches this year. I like to add something crunchy, sesame seeds or sunflower seeds. I have walnuts today. Then Since I don't have the yogurt, I'm just putting a little bit of this oat milk on top to add that creaminess in. And, some people like to add sugar rather than maple syrup. I love the creaminess of the maple syrup. So you just kind of make this to please. And then I've got these 2 beautiful eggs. I mean, they're gorgeous, aren't they? So I've got my 2 hard-boiled eggs, my beautiful bowl of oats, and I'm going to add some herb salt that we made using the herbs and the garlic from the garden this summer. The herb salt has taken us all through the winter. And then just sitting down to enjoy a cup of tea, a bowl of oatmeal, and some beautiful backyard eggs.